All right, we are live. I'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of Tyra Talks Paranormal. I am Tyra Clark, your host. And tonight, I do not have a guest again tonight, guys. Um, but I have a lot of things I want to talk to you about. Hopefully, next week, I will have a very special guest that I will be announcing. So look for that on my Facebook page, Tyra Clark, or my Arkansas X Files page as well. And like I said, I'll be posting that and keeping you guys updated with that. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. All right, so I was going to check my audio. I was going to do a little audio check and see if anybody was on with me, hearing me. I don't see anybody yet, so I'm going to continue on. Hello, Sherry. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay. All right, guys. So, like I said, my show, I've been wanting to customize it, right? So, I'm going to do different segments, just kind of make it my own personal little touch to it. So, the first segment that I have included into my show is going to be shout outs, okay? And this is going to be shout outs to people that support my paranormal team. And also, thank you, Wicked Woman, Beth. Thank you, Beth. All right. They said my audio is good, guys, so that makes me happy. Um, but as I was saying, so my first shout out, what I'm wanting to do is, my local businesses anywhere in my hometown. If you want to support my paranormal team, I will definitely give you a shout out. Any other paranormal teams, you want to work something out, maybe I'll send you an Arkansas X File shirt. Send me in years back, and I will definitely wear it on the show and give you a nice little shout out. So the first shout out that I would like to give is going to be to, it's a local convenience store here in BB, guys. And these people that work there and the managers that run it, they're amazing people, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and tell you the name of it. It's here in BB, Arkansas. It's called Philco or the Valero here in Arkansas, in BB, Arkansas. So I've been going there. It's just right down the road for me, guys. So I do go in there a lot, okay? It's like what I can compare it to, like an episode of Cheers when I walk into that convenience store. I mean, everybody's like, hey, Tyra, how you doing? How's Arkansas X-Files doing? Tyra Talks Paranormal. They've posted things on Facebook trying to, doing shout outs for me and trying to get people to check out my group and Tyra Talks Paranormal. I've had several of the employees purchase Arkansas X Files attire. I got them still in the back. Wait, I'm gonna get better at this. Yep, they bought shirts and the beanie on the mannequin head. There we go, right there. So yeah, so Philco / Valero here in BB, Arkansas, and I'm gonna go ahead and shout out all the employees' names because they're all awesome, guys. All right. So we have Johan, we have Juanice, we have Megan, we have Sal, we have Kaylin, Alicia, Haven, Alexis, and Ashley. All right, you guys rock. Thank you for supporting Arkansas X Files. And you guys, I support you. I come in there like every day. Okay. All right, so the second one, hey, Animal, Josh, sisters here. Look, I see you all. Look, I'm going to start. Look, hey, check this out. Woo! Thank you. Thank you, Beth, for that. Okay. And then I'm going to put my sister up there. There you go. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'm getting better at this, and, practice makes perfect, like I said. All right. So, the second shout out that I would like to give, let me take that off. Hey, Josh, I'm going to take you down now. The second shout out I'd like to give is going to be to Cypress Electric Services. And this is Brian Sherrod. Okay, and he is Sherrod. Excuse me. So the reason I'm giving him a shout out because he's actually part of another paranormal group and I'm not sure right off the top of my head. I should have wrote that down, guys. But he's actually been a guest investigator at the Fee House with my group, with my team, and he's also. I just recently invested in a little portable building, a little cabin. It's not finished, okay, but he will be the electrician that is going to be hooking up the electricity in this. And this is also the place where, guys, I'm going to be having my studio, so that I will be broadcasting from there. So I'm very, very excited about this. And I'm very appreciative for everything that Ashley, my team member, has done. You know, this is her office space. She's let me use it temporarily until I get that figured out. So, Brian Sherrod, and that's Cypress Electric Services. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you the number, but I'm gonna go ahead and post this on probably on my Facebook page and Arkansas X Files page, his number and stuff, and how you guys can get a hold of him, because I don't believe he has a Facebook page. But that number is going to be 501 area code 428-2503. So for all your electrical needs, hit Brian up. Okay. So that was my second shout out. All right. Okay. And then the third shout out was going to be about my shirts, guys. Any of you watching, I know that several of you have requested shirts from me, and I'm talking about my my fellow paranormal investigators, okay? And so, you know, I told you back in the last episode it should be a couple days. Well, I got a hold of Print and Press Apparel Company, and apparently they had some issues with some of their machines, and so they've been working on that. But hopefully that's going to get fixed very soon. And then I will have those shirts available. So if I told you that I'm going to send you a shirt, I have not forgot you. I promise you, you're on the list. I'm going to get you a shirt. You send me a shirt back, I'll send you my size. And, you know, hey, we'll represent for each other. Okay, guys? So, all right. So there's that. And then, well, since we're talking about the shirts, which I showed to you guys, the awesome shirts, if you guys are interested in purchasing a shirt, like I said, you can get a hold of me, Tyra Clark, on my Facebook page, or you can also get a hold of me on Arkansas X Files page on Facebook as well. But speaking of the shirts, speaking of the shirts, we actually have, guys, remember in the last episode I shared with you that my team, Arkansas X Files, will be leading the Midwest division of Ghost Hunter Girls. So very excited about that. And so what we're going to do is we're having a logo, and actually I posted it on my Facebook page, or excuse me, on my Arkansas X Files Facebook page. And we're going to be having that little logo added on to the Arkansas X Files shirt. So that's awesome. And excuse me, the new shirts will have those on there. Okay. So all right, guys. Hold on. You know, I got my notes here. All right. So, let's see here. And another thing that I want to talk about is today on Facebook, guys. I posted something on BB Live Facebook group. This is my hometown in BB, Arkansas. I told you guys a little bit about, I believe it was in the second episode, about the audio was messed up, about our BB Blackbird incident that happened here in BB. We're actually nationally known for that incident, and that happened, what was it? 2011, guys, in January of 2011. So I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I have my own paranormal talk show, and so what I'm going to do is, well, let me just read you what I sent to this post today, guys. And I've gotten a lot of responses, and so I'm super excited. So let me get to that real quick, and then I'll read that to you. I say I did. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so I'm just going to have to tell you, I guess. No, here it is. Here it is. All right. So I said, as some of you know, I recently shared with you that I created a paranormal team, Arkansas X Files. And as I am from BB, I ask y'all to share your stories or local legends that my group could potentially investigate. I said, I now also have a talk show that airs live on YouTube Wednesdays at 6:30, Tyra Talks Paranormal. Since I've lived in BB most of my life, I would like to dedicate one of my episodes to talking about BB Blackbird incident that happened 10 years ago this month. So I wasn't thinking about it until I did the math, and I was like, man, this would be perfect. That's something I could do on my show. So, and as many around the world know our small town from this. Okay. If you would be willing to be interviewed on any firsthand accounts from that incident and would like to be featured on a video I will share on my show, please reach out to me. I will schedule a time we can talk. Also, I do shout outs for local businesses. So, okay, so yeah, guys, so there's that. And so I came up with this idea. That's what I'm going to try to dedicate one of my episodes is to, since this is my hometown. And our motto is your dream hometown, guys. It's beautiful. It's got a little rainbow and everything. So, but yeah, no, the BB Blackbird incident, and I'm going to do interviews with people. I've already got people definitely on board with that who want to be interviewed and get these different accounts and, what they think and what we were told versus what we were told what really happened, and then other versions of this. It's going to be a fun show, so I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so there was that. Okay, so if there's anybody watching this show, that you live here in BB, you were here when that happened, you want me to interview, you want to be on my show, get a hold of me, Tyra Clark, on Facebook, okay? And I will make sure that we make that happen, okay? All right. Okay, so my next thing I want to talk about, guys, is an event that's coming up very soon, right? So it's going to be on the 15th and 16th. All right. So I will be a guest investigator at the Old Park Hotel, hosted by my very good friend, Jeremy McManus from Darkness to Light Investigations and Events. Okay. So I feel very honored that he has asked me to come and be a guest investigator, at this event because, well, first of all, we had planned on going to Texas, and I still do plan on going to Texas for other events. But something had happened. Well, he was able to get this hotel, guys, and it's the whole hotel is booked. Okay. And we're going to get to go in and investigate. And, so we posted about that on our Facebook pages and also on Arkansas X-Files. Okay. So you guys can, if you're interested in that, you can, get a hold of me or Jeremy. And, and we have a lot of fun things planned. We're going to have food and snacks and, we should have plenty of space, that everyone has their own room. And I've heard that the Old Park Hotel actually has a room 13, guys. So I've already requested that. So please do not ask for room 13 if you already have, or if you do try to go to this event with us. And we will be following COVID safety procedures. So definitely bring a mask. We're going to have lots of sanitizer and what have you. And everybody's just going to keep each other safe, okay? So, all right. I'm looking over here. I'm trying to keep up with you guys. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Let me get a drink of water. And I told you guys I got that little cabin, and we had to put it in the back of our house now. And there was a bunch of limbs and stuff out there. Guys, yesterday I was working hard, okay? I had my little chainsaw. I was out there cutting limbs, dragging them. Yeah, so I think I got some pollen stirred up or something. I don't know, but okay. I hear you, sister. I'm speaking paranormal. All right. So yeah. So Jeremy McManus, I'm giving you a big shout out. I want to go ahead and actually elaborate a little bit more about how Jeremy and I met, guys. We haven't met in person, okay? But Jeremy and I both purchased Natalie Jones' book. And you guys know I talk about Natalie a lot because I think a lot of her. We both purchased her book, Awaken the Higher Self, Bringing Darkness to Light. In fact, that's where this stemmed from. Jeremy is going through, he's, I guess, having his awakening right now. And you know, we had a long conversation the other night, and you know, he just feels like this is something that he's meant to do, that he's, you know, supposed to be doing. And I'm very proud of Jeremy, and I think that he's going to be very successful with this, and he's going to end up helping a lot of people as well. But yeah, so he's a good friend of mine. I can't wait to meet him and investigate with him and have a wonderful time at the Old Park Hotel. Okay, Denise, I see you. I'm so glad you popped on there, because you know what? I'm going to put her up here. Hold on. Guys, I know you can't say it out loud, but you guys, I want you to blow up this chat right now and everybody tell Denise happy birthday. All right, Denise, which I'm sure most of you know, is with Pac-Man Paranormal. She's about to get married to Ernie. I believe the same weekend I'm going to be at Old Park Hotel. So, you know what? Congratulations on your marriage. And also, happy birthday. All right. There we go. So there's that. Let's see what else we got. I thought I had more than this wrote down. I think I did, but something happened. Some circumstances happened. I had to change it up a bit, guys. But you know what? I'm a soldier, so I just keep trucking on. Okay? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Everybody in the chat. I am so horrible. My sister that's watching right now, she got married today, guys. She got married, her and Lowell. She's now Renee Wilson. She's a Wilson now. All right. So everybody, if you don't mind telling my sister congratulations on that as well, because my sister did get married today. I'm sorry. This is horrible. I should have had that covered. All right. All right. So there's that. Okay. You know what, guys? The rest of this show, well, not the rest of the show, because I have other segments. But, okay. So this past weekend, we were wanting to go. There's a really cool place here in Arkansas, guys. It's called, what is that, Ashley? The Empress?
Yes, the Empress.
The Empress in Little Rock? Of Little Rock. The Empress of Little Rock, okay? It is a haunted mansion, guys. And it is beautiful, okay? For unforeseen, circumstances, we were not able to do that, okay? At this moment. But we were reading up on the history on it. Other than it just being a fabulous place, I mean, just to look at, and but it's got a really good history. And so, yeah, we're going to definitely check into that one, guys. We were going to do that, but that didn't happen. We ended up going to a local cemetery. And to be honest with you guys, because this is one of the places that some of the people suggested from the BB Life group, okay? It was Butlerville Cemetery. We went there, but it was super, super cold outside. It was very wet. We didn't end up staying very long, and honestly, I didn't hear, I did a couple EVP sessions, but, it didn't last very long, so. Hello, Ernie. I see you. Okay, so yeah, so we didn't end up getting anything, like I said, from that. So I don't have, normally I would have something, because I told you every weekend we try to, my team and I, we try to get together and go on an investigation, or we try to talk about an investigation where we would like to go. Okay. So hopefully we'll have that figured out by this coming up weekend. But anyway, so today you know what? I've told you guys that I experienced several paranormal events throughout my life. Okay. And so what I'd like to do on this episode is tell you guys about some of those events. I told you about that I do believe in angels, that I have angel wings tattooed on my back. Okay. And I told you that I would share some of my personal angel experiences with you. So that's what I'm gonna start it out with, okay? And then it's gonna lead to something probably a little bit different, okay? But these are my stories, okay? So I don't have anything to verify this other than this is my story of the paranormal, okay? So I'm gonna try to go back the earliest time that I remember, okay, a paranormal event happening in my life. I want to say I was about 7 years old, okay, and I don't remember. Actually, I was about 6 or 7. We have a couple little events, but we had my grandparents. They had this house here in BB, and then I remember my sister and we would be asleep in the living room like on a pallet, and everybody else would be asleep. And in the kitchen, it would sound like somebody was picking up cups and setting them down and opening the cabinets, and there was nobody in there, guys. There was nobody in there, okay? And my sister, she's watching tonight. I'm gonna give her a little shout out because she's definitely experienced paranormal things, and I love her so much. But she used to wake me up in the middle of the night, guys, okay? Because I think that everybody has different ways of interacting with these spirits, okay? So my sister is one of those who can see them, okay? I have to say, honestly, up to this point, I've never personally seen an apparition, but I do believe that it's possible, okay? My sister, that's what I'm gonna tell you. My sister, she used to wake me up in the middle of the night. She used to tell me, "You see the monsters over there, okay?" And then she would actually leave me and go and get in mom and her dad's bed and leave me in there by myself. So that was kind of scary. But no, I mean, seriously, like, so there was that, but and then we lived in another house here in BB. It was an older house, and we had one night. It was me and my mom and my stepdad and my sister and my brother. We were all sitting in the living room, and mom, back behind the couch, she had these wicker baskets hanging on the wall, guys. And then all of a sudden, just there wasn't an earthquake. I mean, we don't really. I mean, we do have little. What do you call them? Little like shimmers. I don't know. We ever occasionally here in Arkansas, but it's nothing like California or anything like that. They're in for whatever the reason, these baskets they shot off the wall and past us because we're sitting on the couch into the floor. So that was pretty scary. So yeah, so so there was that, okay, and that was unexplained. And then now some of my angel accounts that I believe that there were angels with me, okay. I was probably at this time I was probably about 12 years old, okay, and we had a cabin. My grandparents had a cabin in Mountain View, Arkansas, and it was up on the mountain, okay? And we took the four-wheeler up there, and I used to ride the four-wheeler a lot, but our four-wheeler, it didn't have, the brakes were messed up on it, okay? So you had to literally downshift to slow it down to make it come to a stop because the brakes didn't work properly on it. And, I knew this, guys. I rode this four-wheeler all the time. I rode it all the time. I knew this, okay? But for whatever the reason, I guess I was just young and having fun, because when you come out of the cabin, and if I would go right, that would just take me down a gravel road, and I could ride around all over the place and then come back to the cabin. But if you go left from in front of the cabin, okay, you go down a little ways, guys, and then it just drops straight down like this. It just drops straight down, and then it goes and ends up into a main highway, and also there's a creek down there and a bridge. So for, I don't know what I was thinking, guys, but I was flying past the cabin. I originally came out and went to the right, and then I turned around, and instead of stopping at the cabin, turning into the cabin, I just kept going straight, okay? And literally right before I got down to that incline, or decline, to that hill, okay, the four-wheeler, which other than the brakes not working, guys, it didn't have any other mechanical issues. I mean, it was a sound running four-wheeler, okay? But literally right before I got to that, where it goes down like that, and it would end up, the four-wheeler just shut off. So I remember getting off of the four-wheeler and like looking at like thinking, well, what in the world? Because I was trying to start it. It wouldn't start, guys. And then all of a sudden I heard my family. I looked back and I heard my family running down the road screaming, Tyra, stop, stop, you know? And then that's when it clicked in my head, like what could have happened, guys? Because there's no amount of downshifting on a four-wheeler that's going to stop that four-wheeler when it starts heading down that hill, okay? And it, I probably would have flipped it before I even made it down into the main highway. But if not, I could have potentially been, hit by a car or ended up in the creek. It would have been bad. But I believe that there was an angel there with me. I believe that's why I said there's a purpose for me to be on this world. And I believe it's to be here right now doing what I'm doing and helping people, okay, with events like these. Because I don't know how else to, I don't think you can just call that a coincidence. Because let me tell you what, as soon as we got the four-wheeler turned around, it started right back up, guys. Just like that. Started right back up, and it never, ever, ever had issues like that again. Okay? So that was pretty scary. But in the same aspect, when I think about it now, I'm just like so grateful that, I'm saying, something was looking out for me. I absolutely believe that. So I say that was my guardian angel, guys. Are we lagging a little bit? I hope not. Can you guys still hear me okay? Okay. Because I'm going to move on to another event that took place, okay? Okay, my sister says, all right, here we go. I'm going to put it up on the screen, guys. She said I should tell the story about the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, sneaking through our house when we lived out in Palmdale, California. Okay. Yeah, guys. You guys, our life has been crazy. I mean, seriously, like, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I don't even know why this eluded me for a second, but because I was so young. I honestly don't remember a lot about this. But what I do know is what people have told me. But apparently when we lived out in Palmdale, California, and it was my sister, me and my sister, and my brother, and my mom and my stepdad, okay? And, we were asleep in the room one night, and you guys know about the Night Stalker. I'm pretty sure you do, okay? But anyway, apparently one night, my brother had seen somebody trying to crawl in our window, okay? And this is the story that I remember them telling me, because I was so young, I didn't remember this, and I was asleep. So there was somebody trying to climb in the window. So my brother, of course, he ran to my mom and stepdad's room, and he's like, there's somebody trying to get in. So then my stepdad and my Uncle Mitch, they went after this guy. Like, they took off. And the guy had dropped I don't know, no, he didn't drop the hat. Maybe Josh said it was a guy in an AC/DC hat or something like that, okay? There was something to this. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. But anyway, he was wearing an AC/DC hat or something like that. Well, not even, I don't want to say, it wasn't very far, but that same night, guys, it was probably, I want to say, I don't know. It was that same night, okay? Something happened, and the Night Stalker actually killed somebody, and he was spotted seeing in this AC/DC hat, okay? Seen in this AC/DC hat that my brother described. So we could have potentially been gone already when we were small children. So big shout out to my brother. Thank you for stepping up and saving us, okay? So yeah, so that one was that. Sister says the audio is great, so that's awesome. Okay, all right, so I've told that. I'm going to go back to another one of my angel stories. Excuse me. Okay, so, all right, so there was, let's see here. Okay, when I was, I guess about 26 or 27, my daughter was not very old. She was probably a couple years old or something. Okay. Um, but I lived, anyway, where I lived, there was a very, very busy highway. Okay. And this particular day, um, her dad was home, and there was a deck out back, a back deck, and he and his friend were out there, and they took Abby out there with them. Okay. And so when I was actually in the living room, okay, and me and my friend were watching, this is back when I watched soap operas, guys, General Hospital. And I want to make a note that it was a Friday. So if you've ever watched soap operas, Fridays are the big day. That's the big, you're like glued to it, okay? Because crazy stuff always happens on soap operas, guys. But Friday, it was a crazy, crazy day, okay? So I was super into this in this show, soap opera. And it was the weirdest thing, but it was like somebody whispered in my ear, Tyra, look out the window. I swear to you guys, okay? And the weirder thing about it, and which I don't say it's weird, it was a blessing. I did it because I heard that voice, okay? And I looked out the window and I see my little daughter heading down towards the ditch, towards that main highway. And my heart just stopped, guys, because in the living room is at the front of the house, but that door was messed up. So I never ran so fast in my life, through the kitchen, out the back door, around, and swooped her up before she got out there. So I do want to give all that credit and all that glory to God, because I do believe he sent one of his angels to me to tell me that, to tell me to look out the window, because it was just in the instant, that it was happening, in the moment that it was happening, I would normally have not even thought twice about that. And, because she was a little girl, and, and I don't want to get into, her dad or whatever wasn't paying attention to her. It happens, guys. I'm saying it happens, but I'm just grateful for my angel experience, because I do believe that was an angel. So there was that. Okay. And I still have a little while to talk. So I'm going to tell you guys some more of the, I've never publicly talked about, any of this stuff, but the stuff that I'm about to publicly talk about is the stuff that really affected me, guys, that I told you when I was 14. This is where the dark stuff comes in, okay? So I was 14 years old, okay? I lived with my grandparents. My mom and my sister, they went out to California, and I was supposed to go with them, but I didn't. I chose to stay there. And mom didn't want me to, but I did, guys. I stayed there with my grandparents, okay? Because I was afraid to leave at that time. I was young, and I had a lot of stuff going on. I was very, very much into, school events and stuff like that. And, sports, and I was doing good in school. And, so I stayed there with my grandparents, okay? And this is actually the house that I live in now. And currently is the room my son is living in, the room now. Prior to that, it was my sister's daughter that lived in there, and she experienced things as well. My son has experienced these same things, okay? But I was 14 years old, so I'm going to tell you about my first sleep paralysis, okay, event, guys. And at that time, like I was telling you guys before, I was very much into church. I was very much into church, going every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesdays. And so what happened was I laid down and I fell asleep, okay? And I was laying on my back. And it was like I woke up, and it was like I could see the shadow of the fan on the wall in front of me. But when I tried to move, guys, and when I tried to speak, it was like I've never in my life, hey, Ghost Hunter Joe, I see you. I'm sorry, I'm telling a very intense story right now. Yeah, okay, so this happened, all right. So like I said, it was like I was asleep, but then it was like I woke up and I could only see what was in front of me. So I could see the shadow of the fan on the wall. when I tried to speak and when I tried to move, I couldn't, guys. I couldn't. And then it was like this wave of energy. It was like radiating. It was like, and it just starts at the tip of my head and it just goes all the way through my body. And I can feel it sitting, like when it comes to my chest, it makes it hard to breathe. And it's very scary. It was very scary. Okay, so that was the first event. And shortly after that, I guess I snapped out of it. I sit up and I was so scared because I didn't know, was this a ghost? What was this? I mean, I've never experienced this before in my life. And so the only thing I knew to do at that time was I got down on my knees and I started praying, guys. It scared me. I wanted to go wake up my grandparents, but then I didn't. And, I didn't want to scare them. So needless to say, I didn't get very much sleep that night. Very good sleep. So these events started happening. Okay, let's see. They happened from the time I was 14 and intensely happened until I was probably in my early 20s. After I had these happen a couple times after I had my children. I have a son who is now 17 and my daughter who is now 14. She just had a birthday. But when they were babies, I had this happen a couple times. And then the most recent time it happened was actually in the summer of 2019, guys. I was going through a lot of stuff, okay? But I'm going to rewind. I've told y'all I'm like a Quentin Tarantino movie, okay? So I'm going to go back and forth, all right? But it'll all make sense, I promise you. Okay? So going back to the very first not paranormal event, but sleep paralysis, okay? So that happened the first time. But then this started happening, guys. It started happening more often. And it was like every time that it happened, it was like it started getting more intense, guys. Like when it was happening, then I started I felt like I was grinding my teeth. Let's see, like I started to actually feel like something was touching me, okay, when this was happening, and I couldn't move and I couldn't say anything. And so all I knew to do was to pray and that helped. And so the next thing that got where it got really bad, guys, okay, because I started talking to my grandmother about this. I mean, it started happening. Like I said, things were getting a lot worse. So I started talking to my grandmother and I was like, what? I don't know what this is. I'm like scared. Like, is this something spiritual or is this something medical? So my grandmother took me to the doctor, guys, okay? And so of course, the medical doctors, they hear what I'm saying and they're going to try to give a medical explanation for that. So, so basically you have your different stages of sleep, and what's happening, how they wanted to describe this is what's happening is when it's like, you got your realm stage, but right past that is like where you have like super deep sleep, okay? Like comas or out of body experiences and stuff like that, okay? And that's where they're saying that I'm either really, really tired or, under emotional stress, and it's sending me into this deep sleep where I'm having a hard time coming out of it, and then I'm basically sending my body into a panic attack, okay? I'm trying to get up out of this, okay? So that was the medical version, okay? And it sounds fine and dandy, but I'm gonna keep going and telling y'all some more stuff that happened, because this got even more intense, guys, okay? So there was that. So now when I'm speaking to my grandmother, she now thinks it's more of a spiritual thing. This is what we agreed. My Nana, this is a spiritual thing. Tyra, because I was going through a lot then, guys. I mean, I went through a lot of stuff. My family broke up, and I stayed. I didn't go with my mom and my sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt guilty for that, and so at that time I was just there was a lot going on. And so in our beliefs, and my Nana, what we believed was that this was Satan, that he was trying to attack me. When you're down at your lowest, you know what I'm saying? It's like he tries to swoop in there and install this fear in me, okay? And it was working. It was working because I was scared. I was terrified to literally go to sleep. Okay? So you imagine a teenage girl, you know, trying to do all of this stuff, go to school, go to work. I worked from the time I was able to work, 16 years old, okay? And before that, way before that, guys, I was doing like, I did all kinds of jobs, okay? But yeah, I mean, it was terrifying. And then for me doing all this stuff and then me not getting good sleep, and so you can only imagine that how this affected me as a teenager, okay? So things started getting worse, and I get a little bit older, and I start to like try to figure out ways to, you know, to be able to try to help with this situation. Okay, they tried to put me on pills, guys. I don't like pills. I took those pills and I flushed them down the toilet. Okay, um, so I don't think it was a chemical imbalance, and I'm gonna tell you why. All right, we're getting to the part. So I got a little bit older, guys. Now I'm in my later teens. Okay, and like I said, things had started progressing every time that they happened, and they started getting worse. And so, I started grinding my teeth. I was having a hard time breathing when this was happening. I felt like something was touching me. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Okay, so there was my one of my best friends growing up, guys. She had a son, all right, and his name was Austin Michael, and he's who my son is named after because he did pass away from SIDS, guys. I'm sorry about that. I was getting a little emotional about that, but my brother actually got with her. Okay, guys, after she got pregnant, he wasn't the father, but he stepped up and he was with my friend, and they got an apartment together. Okay, and so little baby Austin, this was before I had children, and um it's okay, sister. I got this, okay? I have to tell this story. This is my story, so I'm going to tell it, okay? So long story short, guys, okay? They got an apartment together. He passed, okay? And he was 2 months old, all right? But before he passed, I would come over there every night, okay, guys? And I know this might sound bad too, but I'd sleep on the couch, and Austin would sleep on my chest, okay? And I wouldn't move, not a bit. But it was about 2 weeks after he passed. I laid down on the couch, and I was I was falling asleep, and so what starts to happen is that I'm having my sleep paralysis again. I feel it now. At this point, the more that it happens, I'm starting to realize when it's coming on. I'm like, oh no. And I'm just like, oh, I can't, not right now, no, right. And I didn't want to deal with that. And so I knew, okay, one of the ways I told you I would try things to make it go away or what have you. So one of the things I tried to do was just try to just let myself relax, guys. Just let myself relax and just try to go back to sleep. Just go back into that sleep state and not even try to fight it. Because it was like, the more I tried to fight it, the worse that it got, okay? And so at this point, I was just like, I'm not fighting it anymore, okay? I don't want to fight it. I just want to drift back off to sleep, and I don't want to deal with this, okay? But something that night wanted me to deal with it, okay? Because I'm laying there, I see, once again, it's like the shadow on the wall, okay, from the fan. And I try to go back to sleep, but this time, guys, it was like somebody touched my leg, okay? So your natural reaction is to look down to try to see what's touching you. And when I try to look, I can't because I'm paralyzed, okay? And then it was like, I want to say, okay, if I was a piece of metal, okay, my feet, and there was a magnet at the end of the couch, it wasn't like somebody was physically grabbing my legs, but it was like this force was pulling me off the couch. And at the same time, guys, I hear this. I don't know exactly what it was saying. Okay, I didn't understand the words, but it was saying, but I know it was something demonic, okay? It was like, I mean, it was bad, guys. So you know what I did? I rebuked it. in the name of Jesus. And I told it to you, just leave me alone. You're not going to do this to me. And then I immediately set up, guys. I immediately set up. Okay. So I know now it's a spiritual thing. And it took me a while to figure that out. Well, I mean, I guess we kind of already had that figured out, but back then, guys, when I was younger, sleep paralysis wasn't very spoken about. Okay. It's just now coming out to where people actually speak about this stuff, and there's all different kinds of things we could talk paranormal. What is that? I want to say the sleep hag or something like that it's like a type of demon or something that'll come and sit on your chest and causes the sleep paralysis. I don't know. We can check into more of that. But I got a real cool story because I told you I'm like a Quentin Tarantino film, but I'm going to end up going back to a good story with the sleep paralysis, okay? So there was that incident. That was really, really scary, okay? And then I had one more incident before I tell you about the last one, okay? So there was another incident where, okay, it was getting really bad. That was scaring me, guys. So I was going to end up going to the doctor, and, well, I hadn't gone to the doctor yet, but it happened again at my house, okay, where I'm at now. And this time, guys, when it happened, this was after, my friend's son had passed and I experienced that demonic like thing. Okay. And then I was at my house where I'm at now and it started happening. And this time, guys, I swear to you, I stopped breathing in the middle of it. I was like, I couldn't breathe. And I remember thinking in my head, this is how I'm going to die. Like I just, it was so terrifying. And so I snapped out of it though. I did. I came up out of it and that's how I came up out of the sleep paralysis, was taking a big gasp of air, and I started crying because that scared me, guys, so bad. And so, from then I ended up, I told him I need an appointment, guys. I need to talk to somebody, about something, about this, figuring out what this is, or if there's anything that they can do to help me. Because at this point where I'm stopping breathing, this is not cool. So, all right. So the night before I go to the doctor, guys, and they were going to send me to mental health. Okay. So now this is touching on an even more touchier subject. Okay. Cause now they're trying to say that people that experience these things are crazy. Well, you're not crazy. And if you've ever experienced sleep paralysis and you ever want to talk to me about it, you come and talk to me about it. But I'm going to end on a good note with this sleep paralysis because I'm going to tell you another story, guys. It was the night before I went to see this mental health place. Okay. I was laying in a twin size bed. Swear to God, this is a true story. I had my hands on my chest like this, guys. I fell asleep like this. Okay. And this time it starts happening again. Well, if you remember the last story, guys, I told you that I'd stopped breathing. I was terrified that this was happening in this moment. Literally the night before I go to see somebody else about this, And so I had my hands on my chest like this, guys. It starts happening. I feel that wave of energy, right? It's happening. And then all of a sudden it feels like somebody sits on the bed beside me, okay? And this time, it feels like somebody puts their hand on my hand, guys. I swear to you, this is a true story. And I heard a voice, but this time it wasn't scary like that demonic voice. I couldn't understand that demonic voice. I didn't understand what it was saying, but I knew it was bad. But this time, it was a very calming, and even though it scared me a little, not to the extent of the other one, but it was very calming in a way, And it said, Tyra, it said, don't be afraid. I'm with you. That's what it said to me, guys. And then shortly after that, I sit up. I sit up in the bed. And one of the things my mom always told me to do, if I was ever questioning things in life, anything, and she told me, she said, Tyra, just open up your Bible. Just randomly open up your Bible. Ask God for advice. Open up your Bible and just start reading. And God will show you. Okay? And so So immediately after that happened, guys, so I heard that voice. I laid, I had the sleep paralysis, felt like somebody sat on the bed, felt like somebody put their hand on my hand, heard an audible voice tell me in a very calming voice, but scary, tell me, Tyra, don't, it's okay. Do not worry, I'm with you. So the first thing I did was I had a Bible at the end of my bed and I opened it up. And this is the story I'm going to tell you guys. This is a true story, guys. Uh, the story I started reading in the Bible was about Daniel in the lion's den, guys. Okay. First of all, this is it relates to me very much because first of all, I'm a Leo. Okay. Very much about lions and things of that nature. Okay. Because I am a Leo. So, anyway, so I start reading, I start reading the Bible. It's the story about Daniel in the lion's den, and it said the angel of the Lord. Daniel was frightened. He was in the lion's den. Imagine, can you imagine that? I mean, it being in. I love lions, but I wouldn't want to be in a den full of them. Hungry, and me, me being their dinner. And Daniel was frightened. And then on top of that, already being scared for his life, then an angel of the Lord appeared to him. And then, so that was pretty scary, I'm sure, too. But he told Daniel, he said, Daniel, do not be afraid, for God is with you always. And it's very similar to what I believe that was an angel telling me that don't worry, because I got you. I got you, okay? This is part of why I do what I do now, guys, okay? And then it said that the angel of the Lord, and you guys don't believe me, go look this story up in the Bible. I'm not joking, okay? And said the angel of the Lord put his hand on Daniel, and then Daniel fell into a deep sleep. So I don't know how else more that could relate to me personally. So that is my biggest and best. Well, I don't say my daughter being saved, and I believe the angels can work through you for your loved ones as well. That was special to me too, because I don't know what I'd do without her. You know what I'm saying? But for me, that is the point where I knew for sure that, guys, that this was something, that it was a spiritual thing. Okay, it's a spiritual thing, and this is why I do what I do, because, and I told you guys, I watched the Travel Channel. I spent most of the my life here recently in the last, I don't know, several years. I watched the Travel Channel a lot before I started my team, Arkansas X Files, because I was literally looking for people. I've seen people, telling their sleep paralysis stories, and still not to the exact same extent as mine, but at least I knew there were people out there that were experiencing the same things as I was. And you're not alone. And once again, if you're watching this, or if you know anybody who's experienced these events, and they want to talk to somebody about them, please tell them to get a hold of me, Tyra Clark on Facebook, or Arkansas X Files page on Facebook, and we can definitely go into deeper conversation about this. It looks like my show's almost over. I'm going to tell you one more quick story, guys. Okay? I think I got time for this. All right. Real quickly, another place that I experienced a paranormal event in was in at my aunt and uncle's house in Batesville, Arkansas. Guys, their front yard is a graveyard, okay? In fact, if you go to my personal Facebook page, Tyra Clark, and you look at my pictures, you're gonna see part of that cemetery, and you're gonna see an angel where she's praying. That's out in that cemetery as well, okay? It's believed that house was once maybe a funeral parlor or something that they live in. So they actually, thank you, Ernie. So they actually, it's haunted, guys. It's very haunted. And I know today, if I was to take my team down there, we would definitely collect something. Okay. Some evidence for sure. And they have said that if we want to come down, we can, and check that out. But I'll tell you one of my personal experiences. Since my sister's on here, I'm doing paranormal shout outs to her, because we experienced this together, this event. But yeah, so we were home one day. My aunt was gone. My uncle was gone. It was me, my sister, and her daughter, her oldest daughter, which was very young then, and then my son Ethan, which was just a baby at the time, okay? We were in my sister's room, guys, okay? I know you don't know the layout of the house, but we were in my sister's room. And then if you would go outside her room, there's the dining room and the living room area, and then there's a hallway that goes all the way to the back, and then to the right would be my aunt and uncle's room. Okay, so my aunt Tammy was gone, my uncle Bill was gone. It sounded like we were sitting there on the bed just watching TV with the kids. It sounded like somebody came in and threw their keys down, like Uncle Bill would have came in for lunch or something. And we were like, hey, Uncle. He wouldn't say anything. And I was like, what in the world? And I was like, well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and look and see if there's anybody here. So I went and I looked out the window first. I didn't see his vehicle, and it was that quick, guys. Like, we had just heard this. And so I look out the window. There's no way he could have got, because you have to go out, down the stairs, across the yard, through a fence to get back to your vehicle. There's no way he could have made it to his vehicle in this time span, okay? So I come out, I'm asking Uncle, maybe he's in his room. Maybe he got dropped off. So I walk down the hallway, guys. I walk down the hallway and I look in his room and there's nobody in there. As I turn around to walk back towards my sister, guys, it was like somebody was going bang, 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 bang on the walls. Like just following me, just banging on the wall. It scared us so bad at the time that me and my sister grabbed the kids up and we went outside and we said, we called our aunts and we were like, we are not going back into that house until you guys come over here and cleanse or something. Because it was scary. There's a lot of things that happened in that house. But I'm going to leave it on that note. My paranormal events, guys, I have lots of them. I've only touched the surface with what I have experienced. So plenty more times to talk about this. I'm getting ready to wrap up my show. Thank you for everyone who has watched. Okay, so another one of my segments, guys, real quick. I did Tyra's trivia in the last one, but it didn't seem to work out so well, so I'm going to work on that a little bit more. But I also want to do the words of wisdom, okay? I don't have anybody's words of wisdom other than my own, okay? Guys, we're going through a lot right now. Our country's going through a lot with the COVID and everything that's going on today. I'm pretty sure you guys heard about it. But guys, just breathe. That's my advice to you. Words of wisdom is just breathe. Somebody told me that one time, and it's, I know it seems like such a simple thing, but it literally, if you just breathe in your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out your mouth for 4 seconds. You can actually control your heart rate, okay? And just know that you're here and you're alive, and when you wake up, you be thankful for that you got another day. There's breath in your lungs. And you just try to make the best of it that you can, okay? The last thing that I want to leave on is that I always want to leave my show on a positive note, okay, guys? So, thank you once again for everyone who has watched tonight, for everyone who will watch after this. Thank you all for supporting me. It's just going to get better, guys. I feel it in my heart, okay? I just know that it is. And, I hope that you guys enjoyed this show tonight. I know it was a little different. It's a little different than most other shows, but I'm trying to make it my own. Okay, I want to be genuine and show you guys what I'm about. Because I'm not just here just to have a good time, just to play around. This isn't just a hobby for me. This is something I'm very passionate about. So, ending on a positive note, guys, be kind to one another. Right? Random act of kindness. Smile. It's contagious. You smile at somebody, I guarantee you they're going to smile back. All right. So I love you all. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you next time on Tyra Talks Paranormal. Okay.